It's like one's big, one's small. And I mean, it's like looking at shadows, you know, and I mean, you can look at this pen and you know it has a shadow. And, you know, if there's light coming from, you know, that window, then it should be pointing, you know, about in that direction, you know, like kind of that way, you know, or whatever direction the light's coming from, you know, that in the sound, you know, this is a solid object and, you know, it has something behind it, you know, and you have to be able to see it all. You have to analyze it. You know, when you listen to each song, and you have to filter it all out to know why that person was singing it. You got to figure out where they were at. Where's the buildings behind them? You know, what were they eating on this day? You know, I mean, if it was a day. And who was that sitting next to them? You know, and you got to figure out, you know, what are these small details that aren't said, you know, when there's no debris, you know, like this. And when there is debris like that, you know, where the singer is the song, or, I mean, and it can be looked in many ways. And then there's, I guess, about 4 ways you could look at it in, you know, listening to the song, really. The first one we're going to go over is reverse. Reverse listening is one thing you can do after hearing a song that you've already made, or someone else has made, that you've made or heard or wanted to anyway, and you want to see how it is going to go in this side and come out the other one, like I'm a machine or like I'm a computer, and here's data going in, here's how it comes out. You want to be able to have control of, you know, that, but it should be a working mechanism as these 2 ears here. You know, just like this eye goes in this eye, comes out the other eye, you know, or goes in this nostril, comes out the other nostril, you know, or goes in and comes out my ass, or comes in this side and comes out this side, you know, or, you know, or goes in here and comes out, you know, when I gotta urinate. You know, it should be like a processor, you know, so when you reverse a song, you know, play a regular song that you've heard before and wish there was some fucking skill. Reverse it. And listen to what keywords are in it. Listen for the debris and things sticking up. You know, kind of like if there was like music here, you know, we're only looking at this little surface here, the little high part right there that's really small. You know, a lot of the time, you know, it'll be like this, and there'll only be one area here, you know, that is kind of hitting the peak where you can detect and sense it. And that has to be sensed. That is the processor part of us, where, you know, if you had MacGyver, you know, and you just said, you know what, fuck MacGyver, I'm going to do my own shit. You know, but MacGyver just did it, you know, because he wanted to see. You know, it's like saying, you know, here's a pen, you know, here's another pen, here's a book. I'm going to put this inside of this fucking chamber and just chunk it in there and see what the fuck comes out of the processor. You know, just like a meat grinder. You know, or a fucking tree processor, a food processor. Put some cornstarch and put some of this in there and see what comes out on the other end. You know, is it going to be a cooked filet? What kind of machine are we inventing here? You know, what are we dealing with? So when you reverse a song, you need to pay attention to the peaks, you know, and also, you know, anything that is redundant. You know, that'll be like abba-de-boom, bada-bumble. Abba-de-boom, bada-bumble, or like, hello, while I see, and then it'll say, hello, while I see, like twice, you know, and it'll go like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, you know, and it'll go like that, and then it'll do it again, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and it looks like, you know, some retard, like, reaching for something, you know, but, I mean, you have to be able to say that that's you not paying attention, and you have to be able to get reverse you to be able to pay attention, but this, you know, that is important, you know, and you have to be able to master, you know, that, and you'll learn about, you know, channeling through it. You can put other people inside of it, you know, but you have to know how, you know, because you have a very open selection, and as soon as you say, you know, this is a good idea, well, there was good ideas leading up to that idea, you know, and, you know, they still have to do it, you know. So, you know, when you want, you know, a famous singer to be in the back of your song and be reverse, or a ghost, or some genius concept, there's also concepts that led up to that concept that were just as special to it, the processors. the pieces of us that are God, that have had to take it in, or, if it was more than God, I mean, it'd still have to be there, wouldn't it? But God would be there, So you have to understand, it's not about that. It's about the science reverse. And another thing you can listen to is Busy Bone. When it's played like in another room, like one room away from you. Like you can kind of set the volumes of your music. There should be layers of what is said, And that I've already told you about that. But, you could say like, debris in the room, in the room. And, like at the same exact time, you could intend, which is the only thing you got. You could say the breeze in the room. And you could say, at the same time, depending on what level it was at, like this is 3 rooms away. This is a secret, okay? And then this one, 2 rooms away. And then 1 room away. And then this one would be like it could be Febreze in the room. And then you could even do another one that would say like at the same room away would be the actual lyrics, You'd be like, the breeze in the room. Or you could say the breeze in the boom. And then it would seem like, one of those spirit encounters. You're like the breeze in the boom. Like that doesn't sound like debris. It doesn't sound like something I'd normally say in English, but it sounds like something, doesn't it? And then there'd be one where you're not even there yet. -1 room away, you could even do. And it could say, what would it say? Breeze in the boom. You could even be somehow, like, if there was enough traction to the turning, like, when a car's going by and it goes, right there, you could actually take that and make it a negative when the car's leaving you, going the other way, or something. And you could just kind of listen for it and, just kind of, pay attention for it, you know what I'm saying? But, and it could have said like, I thought it would be like, watch SpongeBob or Bikini Bottom or something I was watching when I was, really high laughing when I was teenagers. I don't know, it's just some kind of stuff I could kind of put in there as me, but I'd probably put like, the breeze in the room, the breeze in the room, for breeze in the room, the breeze in the room. You could say police in the room. If I'm really scared, or maybe it has to be looked out for, maybe there's something going on. I don't know. But anyway, all this could be possible. And, when you look at it on 4 different channels, it looks easy to see clearly that as further away you are and closer, it's definitely plausible. And if that's how you would want it, then the emphasis would have to be, debris in the room would have to be the emphasis, and it'd have to be, contain all of the force that goes in it, because it's got to have force to be a spiral, and it is going to be a spiral. But it has to have that stopping force, behind it, pushing it, so you can push against that, with the force of the music. So you could easily talk about, like, this could be a whole song right here, like the breeze in the room and it stinks, and, and then I could be like, I wouldn't have said, I could have, the breeze in the room and it's, it's sex, the breeze in the room and it's sex, and, Or I could even put sexual, and it's sexual. But that didn't really, it could be a time, that I've already documented, And then you could say Febreze in the room, and it stinks. Febreze in the room, and it stinks, And it might be the same ones from the distance, but it could actually be, really categorized. You just have to make sure that all four of these, cars have to be able to make it through the race without wrecking. You know what I'm saying? And that's not hard to do. You know what I mean? It's not very difficult to do. It's just plain and simple. That's how it's supposed to be. So, basically listen from rooms away. Another thing you got to learn is basically effects of a song over time. And you have to learn, that a hit song, 10 years ago, what it did and what it became and what's left of it now in your body that you can use that was healthy for you or against you and wasn't healthy anymore. And now you want to use that, against you. Now you want to use it against it, or you want to be able to be stronger as a person. All I can think of is Soulja Boy Tell 'Em, and how he did Soulja Boy up in the watch me come to Soulja Boy and Superman, and watch me you. And now nobody wants to hear it anymore. So we have people over here excited and shit, all about it and just yay, they're cranking it, And then over time, let's say 4 years, 4-year span, we have people saying, oh man, that shit ain't no good, man. And they're telling him that. They're like, man, that song just ain't no good no more, yo. And if anyone tries to do the dance anymore, they don't really think it's amazing if it was that dance. And it kind of has a 4-year lifespan, kind of like, a big Snickers bar. But it's still remembered, and it is an example, which is another thing, That was 2006. Now it's 2016.